And
Hello, everybody. We're going to get started as soon as we have the Secretary of the Council in his proper assigned seat. Okay, prior to tonight's legislative session, we are convening this public hearing of the Baltimore County Council prior to the legislative session, and it's going to be pursuant to the provisions in the county code for the following issue, the final landmarks edition. So we're not in the legislative session yet. We're going to do that. So I'll ask my colleague to have a seat now, and then we'll get up before the legislative session. So we're going to propose the addition of the Choate House, excluding the 1990 edition and setting at 9600 Liberty Road in Randallstown. And I'll now read the rules of procedure for this public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak should have registered online using the speaker registration form on the council's virtual session and hearing webpage. Prior to the hearing, each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. The council members, if they desire, may then ask brief questions. Jessica Brannock from the Department of Planning will speak briefly on the request for the final landmarks edition. Welcome, Ms. Brannock.
Thank you. Good evening, councilmen and council members. My name is Jessica Brannock, and I am the preservation planner for the Department of Planning. The structure began its life as a turnpike tavern built circa 1812 by Michael Riddlesmore, although later it became a private residence for the Coate family. Richard Coate purchased the house in 1850, and it remained in the possession of family members until 1982. The property has been surveyed twice. The first time was for the Baltimore County Landmarks List, and the second time was for the nomination to the National Register of Historic Places. It was listed by the National Park Service on July 20th, 1989. The Baltimore County Landmarks Preservation Commission placed the Coate House on the preliminary landmarks list on May 20th, 1980. However, the Baltimore County Council declined to make the recommendation final due to opposition from the Coate family descendants who were in possession of the property at the time. It was eventually rehabilitated in 1990 for use as office space, but now currently is vacant. The Coate House is significant for its association with the transportation history of Baltimore County, in particular its association with the Baltimore and Liberty Turnpike, which helped influence the development and expansion of agricultural and mining industries in the Randallstown area of Baltimore County, and beyond for its association with the Coate family, who were significant for their involvement with the development of the Randallstown area and for their involvement with the Tyson chromite mining operation at Soldier's Delight. It is also important as one of the few surviving examples of rural 19th and early 20th century domestic architecture that, in spite of its loss of some Italianate elements, has maintained its overall historic integrity through its retention of setting, physical materials, design features, and aspects of construction. In addition, the structure is an excellent representative example of early 19th century local granite stone construction. The period of significance would be consistent with the National Register of Historic Places designation and extend until 1930. The entire parcel, 2.18 acres total, was delineated as its historic environmental setting. The Landmarks Preservation Commission reviewed the nomination and unanimously voted to add the structure to the preliminary landmarks list on January 10th, 2019. Thank you, and please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Brannock. Do any of the members have any questions or comments or thoughts to share with Councilman Jones?
Yes, thank you so much for the presentation on the Choate House. When you said, what was it about the transportation? I know you were talking about the mining, the significance to transportation because of the...
Yeah, it was a early structure along the crossroads of the road that later, that was originally part of Bel Air Road and then changed into the major thoroughfare through the area.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Belcastro, do we have any speakers on this?
Mr. Chair, we do not have any registered speakers on this public hearing this evening. No.
Okay. Are there any, Mr. Secretary, do we take a vote on this? No. Okay.
No, sir. It's just the public hearing as required in the Landmarks Preservation Commission statute.
Okay, understood. Well, if there's no additional questions from the members, we're going to adjourn this hearing. Thank you, Ms. Brannick. Okay, we're adjourned. Okay. Now, if we could all stand again. This is like being at synagogue. We stand and we sit, we stand and we sit. Okay. Legislative Day number 18 will now come to order. And we're going to pause for a moment of silence today. And today is October 7th. And just 1 year ago, Israel was attacked by a terrorist organization known as Hamas. And over 1,200 people were killed. 250 people of all ethnicities were taken hostage by a terrorist organization. Let's see, some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 kibbutzim were attacked. And also, there was an attack on a music festival. So if we could just think about the victims and the tragedy of that day during this moment of silence. If you'd join me, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. And just while we're all standing, if we could also think about our neighbors in Florida, as they have Hurricane Milton bearing down on them, that everything that they are spared from injury and harm and danger. So thank you all so much. Councilman Ertel, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. Okay, we'll now consider, well, no, I'm jumping the gun. Is there a motion to approve the journal for the meeting of September 16th?
So moved.
A second? Do we have a second? I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Enrollment of bills, bills 63-24, 64-24, 65-24, 66-24, and 68-24 were passed by the council, signed by the county executive, and are now hereby enrolled. Mr. Secretary, will you read all the bills for introduction?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We have 4 bills for introduction this evening. First is Bill 7824, Current Expense Budget, Administrative Office of the Courts, Security Administration. Bill 79-24, Current Expense Budget, FEMA, Fire Prevention and Safety Grant. Bill 80-24 is sponsored by Council Members Patoka and Ertel, Zoning Regulations, Office Buildings in the Residential Office or RO Zone. And Bill 81-24 is sponsored by Councilman Catch, Zoning Regulations, Converted Builder Show House.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary. We'll now consider the appointment confirmations. Mr. Secretary, could you call the first item, please?
The first item is the county executive's nomination of Mr. Joseph Dixon to be the next chief of the Baltimore County Fire Department.
Mr. Dixon, come on up. Mr. Dixon, thank you for sharing some of your background with us at the work session. If you want to restate any of that, please feel free to do so.
Good evening to all the members of the council, all our neighbors gathered here this evening. No, sir, I'm just very thankful for the opportunity and looking forward to getting to work. And also thankful for the members, the new members, expected members of my team that have already started to talk about how we're going to move the Baltimore County Fire Department forward.
Great. Are any family members here, Mr. Dixon?
You are the absolute best, sir, because
Thank you.
I would like to recognize Mrs. Dixon, who came for this from her busy schedule. So thank you, sir.
Mrs. Dixon, I want to thank you for all the time that you're going to sacrifice with your husband, that he'll be doing his duty here in Baltimore County. So let's give Mrs. Dixon a hand.
Oh, wow.
Okay, do any of the members have any questions, comments, or thoughts to share with Mr. Dixon? Okay, then we're going to proceed right to the vote. Did we have a motion?
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. And Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Congratulations, Mr. Dixon. I'm sorry, you're not Mr. Dixon anymore, you're Chief Dixon.
Chief Dixon.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Councilman Catch?
does Mrs. Dixon have a first name?
That's up to Mrs. Dixon to share.
Do you allow the chief to call you that, or does she have to call you Mrs. Dixon? Great. And you're the power behind the throne, right? Thank you.
Councilman Catch, I'll have to call you to order.
What?
I'm calling you to order. Okay. Next appointment is for the Baltimore County Planning Board. Oh, Mr. Secretary, next appointment, please.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is the county executive's nomination of Mr. Scott Halupka to be the next chair of the Baltimore County Planning Board.
Mr. Halupa, you provided background at the work session. If you'd like to restate it or provide any additional information.
I guess just a little bit for those who weren't listening the last time. I'm a lifelong resident of Baltimore County. I've been active both professionally and personally in housing and land use issues for most of my life. I think I relayed the last time I did my undergraduate thesis on school closings in Baltimore County. I did my dissertation on the role of state savings and loans in Baltimore City neighborhoods. I served on the board of CPHA in the 1990s and on the housing committee. I've been on the planning board for a second time starting in 2018, was approved as vice chair in 2021, and I look forward to working with the rest of the planning board and the council on some of the issues that we discussed at the hearing last week.
Thank you, Mr. Halupa. Do any of the members have any questions, comments, or thoughts to share with Mr. Halupa? Okay, Councilman Marks.
Thank you very much. I thought we had a very good, very frank discussion before the work session. Thank you for your interest in serving. Just to reiterate what I've been concerned about, the fact that we need to adopt procedures, more specific procedures during the rezoning process, and then my concerns about the neighborhood common zoning. The planning board is going to be going through a lot of change over the next year or so, and would greatly appreciate you remaining in contact with us as that occurs. Thank you very much.
I look forward to working on those issues with all of you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion? Oh, Councilman Crandall?
I just want to say congratulations, Scott. I know your service well. I'll make the motion.
Okay, we have motion and second. Councilman Jones, do you have a?
No.
Okay. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Okay, congratulations, Mr. Halupa.
Thank you.
Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next, Mr. Chairman and members of the council, is the county executive's nomination of Miss Emily Brophy to be the next vice chair of the Baltimore County Planning Board.
Welcome, Ms. Brophy.
Hi, good evening.
You provided some background on yourself at the work session. If you'd like to restate any of it or any additional information, please feel free to do so.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, members of the council. I appreciate the time. As I mentioned last time, I am a lifelong resident of Maryland. I've been in Baltimore County for almost 20 years. My brother and I own a small business with accounting, tax, and real estate services that my father started in the 70s. I've been very proud and honored to serve on several boards, including the Baltimore County Tourism Commission, as well as the Planning Board and the County Council Work Group. You know, to be the vice chair of the Planning Board would definitely be an honor for me, and I appreciate the consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Brophy. Do any of the members have any questions, comments, or thoughts to share with Ms. Brophy? Councilman Jones?
Yeah, Ms. Brophy, I just want to thank you for stepping up, and known you for quite some time, and you've continued to serve the citizens of Baltimore County very well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Catch?
no one else has anything to say. I'd like to move the nomination.
Just one thing I'd like to just, Ms. Brophy, I appreciate your work on the planning board and also moving up to vice chair, and also the work you did on the council work group, the council expansion work group, where there was about a dozen meetings that were held, went far beyond what was mandated in the resolution, about 6 public hearings, half a dozen public hearings or so, east, west, online, in person. And so I thought the work group really did an outstanding job, and thank you for being part of that work group in addition to your duties on the planning board.
Thank you.
Any additional comments? Mr. Councilman Catch, you want to make?
I'd like to move the nomination, please.
I'll second it.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Okay, congratulations, Ms. Brophy. You are now
Thank you.
Madam Vice Chair. Okay. We'll now move on to final reading and vote of bills. Mr. Secretary, first item, please.
The first bill, Mr. Chairman, is Bill 69-24, sponsored by Councilman Patoka, zoning regulations, uses permitted in the residential office or RO zone, uses in the Pikesville Design Review Area.
Okay, Bill 6924 is a resultant of some actions that took place during the CZMP. It's in the unit block of Church Lane and near Reisterstown Road. There was contention between the applicant of the CZMP requests and the nearby communities. So I asked them to get in one room and figure it out, and they figured it out. And they figured it out through the mechanism defined in Bill 6924, which allows certain uses in this, but limited to the Pikesville design area. Any of the members have any questions, comments, or thoughts on that? Okay, do we have a motion? I'll make the motion.
Second.
All right. Motion is seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye. Okay, congratulations to the residents of Pikesville.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Bill 70-24, sponsored by Council Members Young, Jones, and Patoka. Bill 4724, repeal of redistricting in school board sections.
Councilman Young? Any comments or? Okay. Councilman Young has moved the bill. Do we have a second? I'll second. Second.
No, I had a comment I wanted to make concerning the bill. I would urge us to pass the bill, mainly because I was sitting back thinking about everything we went through before with the redistricting process. And I thought about how if you were to break it up into process and product, we followed the process to the letter of the law. We followed every rule, we met every timeline, and at the end of the day, the product, there was issues that people took with it, and we got sued. We spent a couple of $1 million defending ourselves. Federal judge still requested that we changed it, do a little better. And then now we're being sued at some point for the legal fees of the plaintiffs in the case. So then when I think about where we are now, the process is sketchy because many people believe there should be no map. The product, we've already been threatened to be sued by the ACLU and others. So there's an excellent chance we're going to be sued, and we don't have a process to stand on because we sort of made it up on the fly. We didn't follow the county code. And so when I hear folks here in the dais say, we're going to change it anyway. We're going to change the map. We're going to adjust it. We're going to change it. If that's the case, then why don't we just pass this bill, get rid of the map, and start anew and avoid the lawsuit? So that's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Councilman Jones. Do any members have any questions or comments? We do have just in terms of process, Mr. Secretary, we had a motion. When does discussion take place?
Before.
Before the motion, okay. Okay. Well, Councilman Cash, go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't going to say anything, but I am now. This bill is totally unnecessary. The original bill has an amendment on it that this county council has until October 2025 to have a commission and a process in place to review the map, to possibly come up with a new map. And I am confident that this commission will be formed, that the process will be open and transparent, which is very important to me. In fact, that's why I offered the amendment to the bill, because I did not think the original process was open and transparent. So I, don't react well to threats of a court suit, because we're gonna straighten this out. We're gonna have a commission. We're gonna have a commission of people that will recommend a reasonable and rational map that will adhere to the law. So we don't need this bill. We just need to move forward. And if the voters approve the 7 to 9 council members, then our chairman, I believe, is putting in legislation that will, dealing with the commission, the appointment of the commission, it will happen. And, I am convinced that all the concerns that people have will be aired, and I have enough confidence in the people of this council that we will do the right thing. Thank you.
Councilman Young?
Yep, just the inquiry about our rules defer to Robert's rules when it comes to anything that's not previously stated specifically, which we do it a different way, but it's a motion or a call for a motion, a second, and then discussion. But we have collectively generally just talked about a bill before we ask for a motion. But
Gotcha.
in terms of motion, second, discussion, and then vote.
Thank you. Just a comment on Councilman Catch's. So I do intend on introducing a resolution on November 18th to create a redistricting commission, and I would encourage all of my colleagues to co-sponsor that resolution.
Count me in.
Okay, is there any additional discussion? Do we have a motion? Let's try this again.
Motion to approve.
I'll second. We have a motion and a second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
No.
Mr. Ertel?
Yay.
Mr. Crandall?
No.
Mr. Catch?
No.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Bill 71-24. This bill is sponsored by all council members, boards, commissions, panels, and foundations, standardization of member compensation and expense reimbursement.
Mr. Chairman?
Okay, Councilman Young.
Just a reminder, this clarifies the situation in which a board member that's been appointed to a Baltimore County board can be compensated within certain circumstances that have been previously approved and pending that there is funding available for reimbursement. Appreciate everybody's agreement to work on it and also to sign on to it, so that move favorable.
Thank you, Councilman Young. Any comments or questions for Councilman Kirk?
I'd just add to clarify, Councilman Young put this in, and we appreciate you doing the work on this. I had signed on early as a co-sponsor. We have a few different commissions where they might print some flyers or buy donuts or something for a meeting, and they had no way to be reimbursed for, and it specifically came out of our Veterans Commission, but we found out that many of our commissions didn't have the ability to reimburse for reasonable expenses. And of course, they'll be, they won't be able to do anything lavish. It's just a way to, that they're not coming out of pocket and that there's no way to reimburse them. So this will correct that.
Thank you, Councilman Ertel. Councilman Crandall?
Sure, just real quick, I want to thank Councilman Young for his leadership on this and for Councilman Ertel to jump on early. And then once we got into it as a council, it just made too much sense for all of us not to get on board with. It's one of those few items that we should have been probably done a long time ago to help out the folks who put their own money out to serve, most of them voluntarily, with no compensation, serve on our various boards and commissions. So the right thing to do. Glad that it came up and we get to fix it. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Do we have a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, we do have an amendment to the
Okay,
bill.
let's go to the amendments.
It's a technical amendment. It merely adds the recently enacted Community Reinvestment and Repair Commission. Through our drafting oversight, we did not include that, again, that recently established commission. So this amendment would add that to the rest of the bill.
Okay, any comments on the amendment? We have a motion on the amendment.
Move the amendment.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks? Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Okay, now we're on the bill proper.
Move the bill as amended.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Okay, passes. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Bill 74-24, also sponsored by all council members, zoning regulations, uses permitted in the manufacturing light or ML zone schools.
Okay, Councilman Marks.
Thank you very much. First, I thank my colleagues for their support and their sponsorship, and thank the administration for endorsing this bill as well. This legislation will help advance a new trade school at the former Free State Arena on Allender Road in White Marsh. This is a terrific concept. The particular labor union involved with this has been very successful in training people in their craft. This is the type of function we need to have more of on Eastern Baltimore County and throughout Baltimore County. And again, I thank my colleagues for their support.
Thank you, Councilman Marks. Any additional comments? I just want to make one comment. It's fun that we have two bills that we all sponsored, that was sponsored by all. I want to almost hold hands and sing Kumbaya together. But
Let's not go that far.
Don't do that? Okay. Not necessary? Well, Dino LaFiandra, thanks for bringing us all together on this issue.
Just don't have a guitar.
No guitar? I have one in my trunk.
Just
Okay.
give us a week. We'll be at each other's throats again. Don't worry.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Patoka,
And I would ask all council members to disengage from holding hands. Aye.
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Hey, we're on a roll. Mr. Secretary, the council will now consider all fiscal matters. Extensive testimony was taken at the council's work session on October 1. The witnesses who testified at the work session are available to restate their testimony if needed. I'll now call upon the secretary to read the cover letter and fiscal matters 1 through 5.
First is a contract with the Marriott of Owings Mills Metro Center. Second is a contract of sale with Van Doan. Third, an amendment to contract with Level Landscape LLC. Fourth, a contract with Microtech Designs Incorporated. And finally, a contract with ABL Technologies LLC.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if I may.
Go right ahead.
I just wanted to call out, not to call out for a vote, but just to make a comment on fiscal matter 1. I just want to thank the police department for keeping the tradition of having the hostage negotiation conference in Baltimore County. I think Councilman Jones said very well at the work session on how meaningful this is for not only our police department, but for Baltimore County. It's a nice badge of honor for us. Thanks, Mr. Chair. That's all I got.
Councilman Crandall. Councilman Jones?
Yes, thank you, Councilman Crandall. I was going to, guess sort of like let it go by because we're in a hurry, so to speak. But you're absolutely right. To sit there and watch people come from all over the world to come here and learn from our police department. And people come here, came to Owings Mills, and they have an opportunity to go out and see Baltimore County as well as the greater Baltimore region. I think it's just very good for all of us and gives us a sense of pride. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Jones. Any additional comments? Mr. Secretary, do we have a motion on fiscal matters?
I'll move it. Move them all.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Ertel.
Aye.
Okay, congratulations to the fiscal matters. Okay, we'll now consider the remainder of miscellaneous business. Mr. Secretary, first item, please.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, whenever a contract over $25,000 is awarded by a process other than formal competitive bid, it is required that a copy of the contract be given to the council and the nature and parties to the contract be announced by the secretary at the next legislative session following award. There is one such item on the agenda this evening. This is a purchase order with Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, or MWCOG. This is for the purchase of NCR MD Rapid Law Enforcement Records Database, sponsored by the federal government from MWCOG. This is a law enforcement records database sponsored by the government, federal government, and as such, the data is not available from other sources and has strict compliance and privacy rules to maintain the data security. The award total is $141,499.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Please, do we have a motion?
No, that's just an announcement, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, sorry.
Next item is Resolution 42-24. This is seeking council approval of an application to the state of Maryland for the redesignation of the Chesapeake Enterprise Zone.
Mr. Sachs, come on up. Mr. Sachs, before you speak, I just wanted to thank you for attending the Baltimore County Economic, what do we call that group? Advisory Council. It was interesting. There were many comments that you were the first economic development director to attend that advisory group in years. So it doesn't go unnoticed, and your good work doesn't go unnoticed, and thank you for attending this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, it was a pleasure to be there. I'm here today on the redesignation of the Chesapeake Enterprise Zone. I know that we discussed this at the work session. The Enterprise Zone program is a state program that's administered by the Department of Commerce. The program was established to give local governments the legal authority to offer economic incentives, including real property and income tax credits in specific geographic areas. This location is on the east side of the county. I wanted to thank Councilman Crandall for his support and Councilman Marks for his support as well for some of the businesses that will be impacted by the redesignation. We have already begun the outreach to those businesses, and so far it has been quite successful in terms of hearing back from them. The Department of Economic Development is excited to continue the work of helping businesses grow in the Chesapeake Zone and recruiting new businesses to the area. The county's application to the state for redesignation is due on October 15th, and we ask for your support for the redesignation resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sachs. Councilman Crandall.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Sachs, thank you very much for you and your staff's work on this, I guess, redesignation, I guess we can call it.
Yes.
So I wanted to just discuss, not discuss, but just say why this is still important so many years later after the North Point Enterprise Zone, which was the original name of this particular program, why it's still important and still relevant. Yes, we have inside of this enterprise zone is Trade Point Atlantic, a hugely successful redevelopment of an old steel mill. But if you look at other parts of the map in the enterprise zone, it includes like North Point Boulevard. And I think, Mr. Sachs, you can probably appreciate this, that yeah, sometimes a rising tide does lift all boats, but sometimes that tide takes a really long time to come in. So if you look at the North Point Boulevard corridor, it is still ripe for reinvestment. And some businesses just haven't been able to take advantage of the program. But now that the spark that is Trade Point Atlantic is sort of spurring investment in other areas, programs like this for businesses to be able to take advantage of to improve those commercial corridors like North Point Boulevard, I think is extremely important. So I think this is an important thing to do to, and you have to tweak it like every once in a while like we're doing here, but there is a long-term effect. And we shouldn't just give up on it just because it's been around for a number of years, because it seems like it took a while for it to get started, and it's going to take a while for the impact that it's had to metastasize through the rest of the enterprise zone. So thanks again. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Crandall. Any additional questions, comments? Okay. If not, do we have a motion?
No.
4224?
Yes.
We have a motion from Councilman Katch, and I'm going to assume that
Well,
tackling is a second.
Mr. Chair, Councilman Ertel called me out and said, I want to retract my use of the word metastasize.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's the word that
Ms.
that I was
Belkacem,
trying to reach for there.
please strike metastasize from the record.
Substitute.
But I will move the resolution.
I'll go get the thesaurus. And we'll
Okay.
All right.
encourage you.
Okay. What would Roger say?
Would you settle, Mr. Crandall, would you settle for a second?
I would settle at this point. A second would be nice, yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks? Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Okay, passes. Congratulations, Mr. Sachs.
Thank you.
Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Resolution 43-24.
Mr.
sponsored by-
Chairman, I'm sorry. You can finish.
Sponsored by Councilman Crandall, seeking approval of a property tax exemption and partial refund to Teresa Marie Perlier, who, as a result of being blind, is entitled to a partial exemption under state law.
I will move the resolution.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Marks? Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Okay, passes. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Resolution 44-24, sponsored by Councilman Jones. Planning Board, Reisterstown Streetscape Action Plan, Reisterstown Streetscape Design Guidelines approval for introduction only this evening.
Okay. Next item, please.
And finally, Mr. Chairman and members of the council, Resolution 45-24, sponsored by Council members Catch and Marks, seeking approval by the council of expressing opposition to the Maryland Piedmont Reliability Project, or MPRP, also for introduction only this evening.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
I'd
Councilman.
just like to say a few words about this resolution. This issue is only beginning in Baltimore County in the state of Maryland. The state of Maryland uses 40% of the energy that we use is from other states. And you know that Maryland is now going to close another coal-fired energy source. So we've got problems. There's no doubt about it. And this Piedmont Reliability Project will bring power lines to northern Baltimore County near the Pretty Boy Reservoir, and will hit Frederick County more dramatically than it hits us now. The problem with this is that this is only phase 2. Phase 3 consists of 2 more locations, 4 more power lines that go through Councilman Marks' district, go through Councilman Crandall's district, go through Councilman Jones' district, and goes through the chairman of the council, his district. And believe me, this is a very sensitive issue. This issue needs to have coordination, and the state of Maryland needs a plan that brings all these needs together and determines what is the best way to provide energy in the future for the state of Maryland. What's going to happen is the Public Service Commission is going to be asked to give the company that's doing this condemnation powers. Condemnation powers, which are very, very serious. And I have a lot of concerns about this. You know that I'm very protective of northern Baltimore County. very protective of our forests, streams, et cetera. That's to make sure that northern Baltimore County stays agricultural, and that the water supply, which provides water for 60% of 1.6 million people in the Baltimore metropolitan area, stays clean. And the concern I have is we as a state, as a county, have spent hundreds of millions of dollars to protect land in Baltimore County. We have protected 73,000 acres of agricultural land. We have forest land that's been protected. This all cost a lot of money. And if we, I just can't believe that we would allow the land that we have purchased the development rights to allow that land to be subject to this condemnation. It's just outrageous. And so that's why I'm asking the power companies and Baltimore County to come up with a integrated resource plan, and asking the state do the same thing, so that we will have a working document that will have public input, and hopefully will keep in mind the environmental concerns that all of us have. You know, once farmland is gone, it's gone. Once forests are gone, they're gone. And you can't get them back. And we cannot afford to allow these resources to be destroyed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman Katch. Councilman Crandall?
Sure, Mr. Chair. Usually, as bills and resolutions are introduced, we don't discuss them all that much because we obviously will have a work session to get into it deeper. But you had mentioned that some of the newer lines as part of this project would be coming into the 7th District's neck of the woods. Now, it is my understanding through my discussions with BG&E that those lines actually would be using existing, this is in my district only, Councilman, hold on.
I know.
They would be using existing lines, which hasn't, and they've done, BGE has done public meetings and outreach in our area, and there's not as much consternation in our area, just to make that clear, because they're using existing easements that BGE already has. So there are some other ancillary things that we need to work through as well. But all that being said, the impact in the 7th District does not appear to be quite the impact in certainly in Councilman Katch's or Councilman Marks' district. So I'm wondering, Councilman, have you, what has the dialogue been with you in the state and BGE so far on this? Because we haven't had BGE come to the council, even though we've had, I don't know, at least several weeks of testimony from Baltimore County residents on this issue. So I'm just kind of wondering where we are with the ask of creating, okay, we obviously need the power because we have policies in conflict with each other where we're closing coal plants, but we have federal and state policies that want us to move to electric vehicles. And just imagine how many devices every home has now that run on rechargeable batteries, power tools, blenders. I mean, just, you know, so we're plugging in a ton of stuff, and computing power is drawing more and more power. So we want all of these things, but we have policy in conflict with environmental concerns and certainly property rights concerns. So who's at the table right now actually looking at the kind of alternatives that you and the other folks that have testified before us are suggesting?
Mr. Councilman, first of all, this has nothing to do with the BGE project. These are new lines that will be proposed, I have the map. And they'll go through, as I said, every council member I named, the only council district that's exempted is the 1st district. They will not be affected. All the rest of the districts that I've mentioned will be affected by this addition to the Piedmont lines. So this has nothing to do with BG. I don't know of anybody who has a severe problem with the BGE project because, as you said, they're utilizing existing right-of-ways. And I've heard some concerns about the height and things like that, but they're not. I wish I didn't have to tell you.
Colleagues, we're going to have a first consideration.
Thank you,
We'll have a
Councilman.
second.
I do believe, I think you're right. I think that I was sort of mixing the two different projects to a bit. We'll talk offline.
And I had the same
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for moving us
problem
along.
myself at first, so.
Mr. Secretary, could I just ask to be added as a co-sponsor? Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Secretary, is there any further business to come before the council?
There is no further business, Mr. Chair.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'm going to apologize. I need to excuse myself, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to any of the 4 speakers that we have. I have my team members are here, and they will brief me on what was mentioned, but I'm going to ask Councilman Ertel to take over as chair. We're going to close the meeting, and we're going to move into the speaker session. And again, my apologies, but I have a conflicting schedule this evening. Councilman Ertel, could I ask you to be chair?
So as it is customary, anyone who is registered to speak online prior to the meeting is allowed 3 minutes to speak. Ms. Belcastro, are there any speakers signed up this evening?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Their first speaker is Rameh Hamidi, who is here in person. And I just want to note to everyone, there was an attendee at the work session who was talking about the timer. Your timer will now be
Facing?
everybody can see the time because we're going to put it up on the screen.
Oh, good.
Okay? People who will not see it, unfortunately, are the people who are online, but that was the case when we had the old timer as well.
Good. Good evening, Ms. Hamidi.
Good evening, council members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight about the resolution regarding the MPRP. The resolution, the first good reason for this resolution to be passed is that according to the Public Utilities article of the Maryland Annotated Code, the Public Service Commission shall take final action on an application for a certificate of public convenience and necessity only after due consideration of the recommendation of the governing body of each county or municipal corporation in which any portion of the construction of an overhead transmission line is proposed to be located. The PSC needs to hear from you that this transmission line in its current form is not acceptable. For one thing, no one in Baltimore County will benefit from the energy this line carries. Quite the opposite, because it will take farmland out of production and may in fact lead to the collapse of some farms. Anyone who likes to eat fresh local food will be worse off because of the MPRP. And all of us taxpayers who contributed to the millions and millions of dollars spent to preserve and protect farmland and fields and open space and wetlands and streams, money spent that benefits everyone in Maryland who breathes air and drinks water, well, the MPRP goes across these preserved lands and protected spaces. We thought easements were perpetual, but it turns out they might not be, in which case we, and by we, I mean the state, the county, and the taxpayers, could have just thrown that money out the window. If the MPRP happens the way it's currently envisioned, and landowners can't or won't sell their lands for rights of way, causing preserved land to be taken by eminent domain for the sake of power lines, why would anyone else in Maryland ever preserve their land? Why would anyone bother to try to protect their land for the greater good when they know they could lose their property to some other greater good? The resolution also encourages more and better planning for how Maryland will have enough energy. Maryland is one of only 11 states that do not have rules or filing requirements for long-term planning to satisfy electricity needs. The MPRP is just the first line. More transmission lines have been or will be proposed. I hope you agree that the time to act is now. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments from any of the members? Thank you so much. Ms. Belcastro, our next speaker.
Next speaker is Susanna Mullen, who is also here in person.
Welcome, Ms. Mullen.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you, members of the Baltimore County Council, for your time today. There is a huge body of science that proves the link between fossil fuels and the burning fossil fuels and the increase of hurricanes, global heating, and other natural disasters. To make matters worse, fossil fuel corporations knew decades ago that their products were going to lead to climate harms and then lied to us about it. But this is not some theoretical problem. This is something that affects me personally. It affects you, it affects the people of Baltimore County, and we are all paying for it. Last year, my partner Ben and I bought our first house in District 7, Councilman Crandall's district, and that was in September 2023. This was also taken, oh, I'm sorry, this is our house. This was also taken in September 2023. Okay, is it my audio? Sorry. So this is flooding from Hurricane Ophelia. 1 week within signing my mortgage papers, I was paying for hurricane damages caused by climate change. Let's fast forward to June 2024. This is a picture from my neighborhood. So you can see that trees were toppled, telephone lines went down, there's flooding beyond capacity. And in August 2024, we were hit by yet another huge storm, Tropical Storm Debbie. I hydroplaned as I drove home that day. I find it extremely frustrating that fossil fuel companies pass the cost of fixing the damage of these storms on to me, the consumer, your constituent. And they have made trillions of dollars for it despite their culpability and paid zero. And speaking of passing the buck on to someone else, at the moment it looks like we're letting our kids pick up the bill. This is a picture of my two little nephews, a 7-year-old and a 7-month-old, both Baltimore County residents. I would do anything to save them from this, but if we do nothing, we are forcing them to take on the burden that their parents, their grandparents' generations could have done something about. So why should Baltimore County sue? So that the cost is not passed on to the constituents, so that those who knowingly caused it, the fossil fuel companies, should pay for it. Why now? Because there is no time to lose. We've been aware of this issue and the role fossil fuel companies have played in it for a long time. The longer we wait, the more that we pay for it, and we'll pass that on to our kids too. The effects of Hurricane Helene are all over the news. We have Hurricane Milton is right on the heels of it. We act like this won't happen to us. This could be Baltimore County. Asheville was considered a climate refuge. The next disaster is around the corner, and who do you want to pay for it? Baltimore County or Exxon, Chevron, BP, those who caused it and lied to us about it? And finally, why is this a nonpartisan issue? Simple, because it affects all of us. I urge you to defend the people of Baltimore County. Please support a lawsuit to hold fossil fuel companies accountable for their lies and help pay for the damage that they've caused. Thank you very much for your time. I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Our next speaker is Lynn Jones, who is here in person.
Good evening, Ms. Jones. Good.
Okay. Well, good evening, Councilman. Thank you for listening to this. I too am against the MPRP. I'm supporting Wade's bill. I wanted to point it out that another threat by PJM concerning their Window 3 projects, which will impact virtually every councilmatic district in the county. Window 3 proposes 4 different paths for electricity transport. Not all of that's going to be used in Baltimore County either. Beyond what we're hearing about MPRP's current far-reaching proposal of 70 miles of unnecessary power lines, 2 of the future lines may run through the county from north to south. This is part of PJM's $5 billion plan to transport electricity within our state. By the way, this project has nothing to do with BG&E projects. They want their own right-of-ways. Everyone is going to be affected by this. The environmental impact of the MPRP project to our county will be immense due to the many sensitive species project review areas and TEAs, the targeted ecological areas that our county encompasses. We stand to lose fragile habitats for animals, reptiles, and birds alike. We have forest interior dwelling species identified by the county living in areas known for optimal reproduction and survival under forest cover. Forests under these power lines will be forever cleared if allowed to be built, thus stressing these fragile creatures and their homes. Our waterways will also become stressed by reducing the canopy cover which shades the rivers and streams, thus compromising our cool water class 3 trout streams, which are federally protective of our native trout. The Gunpowder River, for instance, is one of 10 highly revered fishing rivers in the world. Also, runoff during and after construction is also a problem for our clean water. This becomes an environmental equity and justice issue, as the North County protects the drinking water for about 650,000 people in the Baltimore region. Residents of the North County do not use this water for their own use, but rather protect it for the residents living inside and working inside the entire Erdel region. We cannot underestimate the importance of having all our neighbors enjoy the right to clean water. Our Pretty Boy Reservoir collects much of the city's water in its watershed, and that's transported to Loch Raven, which then goes to treatment facilities closer to the metro area. From there, it's pumped to publicly served areas in the county and city, then eventually runs into the bay. We've spent many years and massive amounts of taxpayer funds to help clean up the bay and our waterways. Let's not compromise these efforts so we can continue to protect our lands, the environment, and waterways. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I would like to ask Renee and Linda just to meet me afterwards for, okay.
Right now?
Well, after, we're almost done.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Ms. Belcastro, our next speaker.
Our final speaker this evening is Fred Homan, who is here in person.
Mr. Homan, welcome. We're seeing you often lately. You understand?
I'm here tonight to provide you with an update on the Terabasi matter. About an hour ago, I forwarded you a letter that Christopher Dahl of the law firm of Baker Donaldson sent to Judge Trooper of the Circuit Court. Judge Trooper has taken over the case from Judge Finifter, who found that the administration violated the Maryland Public Information Act by improperly withholding the settlement agreement executed by the administration in Terabasi, as well as withholding scores of other documents. Please read that letter. In a day or two, I'll send you a detailed email that fact checks some of what Mr. Dahl said, but I'm not writing it just to fact check him. I want you to understand all that's happened here. In fact, I'll even start from a position that accepts Mr. Dahl's argument that the only payment the county made to Terabasi was from the general liability fund. I don't really know whether that's the case or not because I don't have access to the retirement file. But doing so targets the core argument that I made when I filed my PIA request back in April of 2021. Make no mistake, starting from a point that accepts that Terabasi was paid only from the general liability fund does not help the administration. In fact, Mr. Dahl has made a bold admission that Terabasi was paid for a breach of contract. The problem is, you see, the settlement agreement that was executed by Mr. Benjamin and CAO Rogers violated the plain language of Article 73B of the state code. Therefore, it's void and unenforceable. The sad fact is that Mr. Benjamin knew that when he signed it. He had forwarded a pre-hearing memorandum to the Board of Appeals that clearly said the county had no authority to sign such an agreement under state law. So there could be no breach. I will explain in more detail, but this is what it comes down to. Members of this administration are guilty of conspiracy to defraud the retirement system. They were prevented from completing the fraud by 2 assistant county attorneys who lost their jobs for speaking truth to power. But the crime of conspiracy stands in and of itself without the necessity of completing the act. Along with the settlement agreement itself, there are emails by and between members of the administration that prove that there was a plan to present the illegal agreement to the retirement board at the June 2020 meeting, just a few weeks after they executed the agreement. The members of the administration who conspired to defraud the retirement system then actually defrauded the general liability fund by paying Terabasi for breach of contract when there was never an enforceable agreement to start with. It violated state law, 73B. You gentlemen that have served in the General Assembly, you know that. This was done, and they used the general liability fund as a piggy bank to pay the executive's friends. The liability is required in the general liability fund to make a payment. There was no liability, there could be no liability because the contract itself violated state law. Now, there's something that good can come out of this mess, and that is if the council will take a look at the structure of the Board of Trustees of the retirement system. Right now, there are 11 spots. One of them, I think, is still vacant, but 5 of them are filled by ex officio members. So the way it works is that you have 5 ex officio members, you have 3 members who represent labor and retirees, and there are 3 members that the council provided for some years ago, 2 appointed by the council, 1 by the executive, that come from the outside. That mix has to be changed. It makes no sense whatsoever, given this administration's actions, for 5 members of that board to be ex officio. There should be no more than 3. The same number as represent employees, and there should be 5 people from the outside who can bring a fresh perspective and to keep these kinds of things from happening. Now, there are other things that I'll talk to you about later that should be done, because clearly the general liability fund hasn't been protected very well either. But we can leave that to a later date. As I said, as you said, we'll be seeing each other.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Guess that wraps up our meeting for tonight, and appreciate everybody coming out. Be safe going home. Thank you.